Yep, there we go.
Hello,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Stepping all over my introduction. Really, John?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another visit to Bryant Falls, Montana, where strange things are starting to pile up. Jorge Duncan, a bad boy about town, apparently trying to go straight, also apparently ran into the home of a very well-prepared gun owner, who may not have been as prepared as he should have been. Tell me, have you ever seen what it looks like when a family goes bad? Do you know what it looks like? Not saying it's relevant, but let's see. With us today, we have Andreas as Roy McNamara, James as Casey Chapman, and John as Martin Spencer. And where we last left off was some poking. They'd done some. They'd had a meeting the day after the shooting. I believe we're getting on to the evening of the day after the shooting. And what kind of stuff are people doing?
Okay. Well, I mean, I do have a job, but I'm just going to do a very brief write-up, a few paragraphs on the bare bones facts of the case, including signs that his back door, George's back door, had been tampered with, to plant a seed of doubt that maybe he was actually running for help only to get shot by somebody who just assumed that reputation is everything. But I don't want to antagonize the town too much, small towns.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna include the bare bones facts, and then if Mr. Lusby wants to edit that part out, that's his business. But after a couple of paragraphs there, I'll just sort of fire it off, and then I'm going to call Roy, and we'll just decide what to do, how to proceed, or something.
So the article. Okay, so the article contains nothing but the facts and this one hairpin. Yeah.
It contains nothing but the facts, but I'm throwing in a fact that I think is relevant to the case. But I'm not going to say some weird occult symbol on his back door.
Weird is an adjective.
I don't even know if it's occult or not. I mean, if it looks just like the save points in Silent Hill 3, that would be something. But that was a lot of blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these don't resemble anything.
But it's deliberate symbology, that's all I know.
Okay, so the article contains nothing but the unvarnished truth and this small can of varnish.
Well, maybe a drop or two. Okay, I then am going to draw carefully, but draw freehand a copy of that. And then what I think I'll do, unless Roy, once Roy and I have decided what to do, one of the things I could do now is go to the library and ask the librarian, because I'm sure the librarian does have access to online research and knows how to conduct research even better than I. But I'm gonna actually, what I'm gonna do is,
one moment.
I'll take with my camera phone. I'll take a shot of the hand-drawn copy of the symbol, not the blood one. In case you want to show it.
Okay.
I'm going to text that to you, so you can do research if you want to. But I'm down to only 1 point in research, and you've got 2. So, do you want to research that, or should I do it, or maybe you can go to the library about it? That's up to you.
Wait a second. Matthew wrote that he might be in a couple of minutes.
Oh, well then.
So
I'm not trying to pressure him or anything.
Yeah,
so I'm going to take. Did you take a picture of it or draw it either? But I'm going to text you a copy of a photo of my hand-drawn copy of that symbol, so that you can pass it on to somebody you think you did say you. I think I know somebody who knows about this kind of stuff, etc.
Exactly. So you can.
Then you can take the texted copy, print it out, fax it to someone who can send it as a parcel to.
Yes.
This guy that owns a carrier pigeon.
And then it's a picture of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Then he'll scan that, run it out on a dot matrix printer,
And then Photoshop it until it's down to like just 2 pixels.
Enhance.
It was only 2. Well, can't you enhance it a little bit? Photoshop.
Yeah. I think the hand-drawn copy that you made is enough. That would be the best thing to show to Mr. Blake. But meanwhile, while you are at the job and writing your article, I'm asking Casey to do something for me because I have something else to do at the moment and I can't. But could she, for a second, run to the city hall for me and check the the various places, so that the woods and the plots in that area with what's the name of this street? Wait a sec.
I don't know that we'd named the street, but or did we?
No, the street is named. It's the street where Martin Stewart lives.
The street.
On the street where you lurk.
Martin, don't you mean Spencer? Yeah, Spencer.
Spencer, yes.
Yes, it's Tempest Road. It's one of the little
Tempest
roads that goes. Tempest Road, which is
exactly
where my driveway is.
Exactly, because I would do it myself, but since I'm preoccupied at the moment, could Casey take a quick look in the city hall to look at that? So if Casey has bullshit detector, she might see that something's up.
What do you want me to research about the street?
Who owns the plots and the woods around Tempest Road?
Yes. Also in the during play, we discovered that in the town, the place is generally known to people as the Lansdowne Shack, even though it's not really a shack.
Exactly, but the Lansdowne Shack.
It's like
I don't tell you that. I don't tell you that when I ask you. I don't talk about the shack when I talk to you. I just ask you if you could take a look and see who owns these plots around that street.
Oh, right. Who owns the plots near the place?
Okay. Why?
I was just thinking about maybe doing something there, and then I would need to know who owns that stuff.
Okay, but you're gonna owe me.
Okay, no problem.
That is a surprisingly vague request.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, why am I? All right. It's not. I haven't done similar things before. All right.
And of course, there are other things that I've been wondering. So
Your keyboard is on fire.
if there's
something is smoking at your house.
My research has led me to the fact that Martin Spencer's keyboard is on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have smoke rising up from something. We can see it curling in front of the.
Yeah, it's incense.
Okay.
Just cause.
Good.
Relieved.
It's not the keyboard. That's good.
That is. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, since I'm on the other side of the apartment from the smoke detector, I thought this is a good place to do it. Anyway, so I know what I'm going to do once I've got that thing written up. Once I've communicated with Roy about the symbol, and then I have other things to look into. actually, what I'm going to do is go to the library
Mm-hmm.
and sort of, it's actually a reasonable thing to do. I'm going to talk to Liz Patel, exchange some pleasantries until I'm kind of researching the history of the Lansdowne Shack. I kind of inherited it. So I'm just sort of interested in the history of it. So, you know, and then I'll just sort of ask her help in researching it because, you know, librarians are real good at research. Actually, librarians control information. They are the secret masters of the world. So,
If you tell them
never ever piss off a librarian. You could find that you don't exist.
You don't have any points in flattery, but I'm sure it'll work anyway.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't think anybody does. Let's see.
I do.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
cool.
You have, and so does Emmy. I must be thinking of the other game.
Yeah, okay. I don't see how bureaucracy can really. Actually, I could research this history of the Lansdowne Shack at Town Hall using bureaucracy, but I don't think I'll bother right now.
Yeah, and I didn't ask you. I asked Casey for a reason.
Sorry.
He wants to know about your house behind your back.
Exactly.
Oh.
Right.
Secrets in the
I don't
mystery
know that
game.
because I didn't even know that he was peering into my car while I was out in the Mammoth Mart shopping.
He doesn't trust you.
And right, well, that makes sense.
Out of towner.
Yes, I'm an out of towner. Everyone's going to be giving me the hairy eyeball.
Yeah.
You know, I could live here another 10 years. I'd still be the out of towner.
What was the phrase?
Maybe.
He's from Vermont.
Yeah, that's the guy from Vermont.
That guy. Oh, right.
And of course, everyone expects me to talk like the Gorton's fisherman.
Yeah, it's that fact checker from Vermont.
Vermont? Does that even exist? Yeah.
Well, everyone will have heard of Brattleboro.
Well, maybe.
The name
Maybe.
sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so what is it you're doing?
Are we still on me? Yeah. Well, I go to the library, and I ask for a little help researching the history of the Lansdowne Shack.
because you found a body and you want to know why it might be there.
Okay.
It will be interesting if she's trying to hide something or if she already knows that it's deleted from the records, or if she's surprised when she finds out.
Okay, we do have some old manuscripts relating to. Oh,
yeah, if it was for old archives and stuff. Well, I think the thing is, I don't know that it was deleted from the records. Maybe it's just so unnoteworthy that it never actually got into use. Actually deleted from the records. Huh?
I know that'd be a terrible thing if it happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to play this out?
Do it.
I guess. Yeah. I just go in. I mean, we did meet earlier, so.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if how much detail I went into about my being. No, I would have said that I kind of
inherited a shack outside of town.
I kind of apparently, yes, I inherited the. Okay, so I a little place, that was all I told them. So I'll go to the library again. And what time of day is it at that point? I mean, I got up in the morning. I spent the morning writing a little article, fired it off to Frank.
Well, you also had a meeting at the Oak and Barrel, where you talked about stuff with other people who seemed tangentially interested in the death of George Duncan.
Well, library. Well, back. Okay, yes. Okay, so wait a minute, wasn't it wait a minute, wasn't it like after running into each other? Oh wait, no, it was the next day we went to the Oak and Barrel. Okay, and we had that conversation.
Yes.
Right.
When I passed on the hand-drawn copy.
Because you didn't have any reason to discuss the death of George Duncan until he actually died.
Right.
Good point.
If we discussed it beforehand, it might have been suspicious.
Yeah.
Right. That would be a little. I had a premonition. Yes. So anyway, so we discuss it. We talk about that. Who's gonna? I'm just wondering if that I'm gonna look for look through news archives for stories about, I don't know. Is that medallion? I mean, could it have been a museum piece? It looked antique to me and very
It
old.
did. Are you okay? Which are you researching first, your house or the medallion?
Do not research the medallion because you don't have it and you shouldn't have ever seen it.
Right, you're right. Someone's gonna wonder how I even knew about it. But yes, yeah, I'm gonna research
Much less have a picture of it on your phone.
Oh, yes.
Right.
That would be awkward.
Right. Well, I'm certainly not going to show it to anybody.
Right.
You could
That'd be
submit
a thing to look into later on if necessary. But in any case, I'm definitely I'm going to check out the house, because let's face it, even though I'm curious about what happened to George, and I actually feel a little sympathy for his situation, even after the fact. He doesn't really have one now, but nevertheless.
Right.
So it's like the more immediate need, but that's taken care of for now. There's nothing more useful I can contribute to the investigation for that, even though we're not really doing an investigation exactly. But anyway, nothing more I can do useful there. So I think I will go to the library and talk about researching my house.
Right.
So after we part company and so on.
Right. So did you actually want to play this out? He asks again.
Well, what the heck? So at this point, it's like around, it's like early afternoon, like 1 maybe.
Yeah, actually, it's going to be more toward mid-afternoon to late afternoon, maybe around 3 or 4.
And good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You were in here recently, weren't you?
Really small-time library. The library in Walpole, New Hampshire, which has a population about of 3,000, is only open for some. It's only open for like 4 days of the week, and like only like for like 1 morning or like 1 afternoon is actually closed. So I don't know what its hours are. Good afternoon. Hi.
Well, we're later in the week now, so the library will be open.
Right.
If it's closed on any day, I anticipate it being Monday for some dumb reason.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't it still like not the weekend yet? It was Thursday. It was Thursday yesterday.
It was Thursday before. It would be Friday today.
Right.
Oh, I thought it was like Sunday or something. In game.
We started on a Thursday in late April.
Right. So it's probably Friday in late April. Okay, so yeah. Good afternoon. Hi, I don't know if you remember me. I was here yesterday.
Oh, yes. Yes, I think I do.
Martin Spencer, yeah. I don't think I mentioned it, so I've heard that the little cottage I was talking about that I inherited.
Yes.
Turns out it's the locals call it the Lansdowne Shack, and I was just curious, and I thought I'd like to know a little bit more about this place, so I thought I'd like to do some research on it.
Well, sweetie, why don't you come on? Let's see. Let's go over to the catalogs and have a look. And she goes over to the card catalog and starts rifling through.
I'm thinking, my God, card catalog. I've worked back to the 40s. No, I don't say anything. Anyway, so I come along and I'm very attentive and interested and nodding quietly.
She notes down the details on a few cards and oh, there's some town records that might be useful. We have those in the back, so nothing happens to them.
Well, I'll be
They're
very
safe
careful.
in the back.
Yeah, I figure even
I'll have them out for you.
even just having research, things I know is how to handle. Also, investigative procedure. I know how to handle things so as not to damage them. When you're investigating something, you handle things carefully.
Mm-hmm. So, you can look. You know your way around a library, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, here are these. I'll meet you over at that table there with the texts from the archives.
Certainly, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you do that. So I look over the first thing she handed me.
Mm-hmm. Well, she handed you a piece of paper with references to 3 books.
Oh, right. All right. So I go to those books on the shelf.
You pick up those books off the shelves and get them over to the table. And she comes out looking kind of cross.
So I look up. I wait for her to speak.
This is a problem. I'm sorry about this.
What?
Well, let me show you. The books we keep in back to keep them from being damaged. Someone damaged them. She opens to a page. She opens to a spot in the book where a page has been torn out.
Okay, we need to know who was the last person to look at them.
Look in the front. They signed their name on it.
They don't sign these out. These never leave the library.
Right.
But looking at the tear, you say you have investigative procedure?
Yes, I do.
I'm not even going to charge you for this one. What you can see is that the tear is kind of... there is a little oxidization around the top of the tear, going down... The top and the bottom of the tear going deeper into the book than the oxidation around the rest of it seems to have, which means that these pages have been torn out for quite some time.
Yeah, I just sort of, I very carefully, like I pull, I have preparedness, so I pull a little magnifying glass.
Do you?
Well,
no, seriously, preparedness is not an investigative ability. What you do is you tell me how many points you're going to spend of preparedness to have that magnifying glass, and we'll see if you have it or not.
I don't think having a magnifying glass would be all that useful. So,
also, when she wants to look a little closer at it, she leaves the book there, goes over to her desk, and picks up the magnifying glass.
Oh, I was just about to ask.
Is that how that works, or was that going to happen anyway?
Take a look.
No, that was going to happen anyway because this is her home turf.
Okay, I'm looking at the edges.
Yeah,
a while ago.
Yeah, the edge is worn, and like I said, the page is oxidized a little bit more where the tear came out. So there's been a little gap there for the air to get in. Not much of one, but enough.
Right.
Jinkies.
Right. So, wait, was something holding the book open, you mean, after the page was torn out, or is it just...
No, just the page, okay, just the book being closed. The pages are thick enough that there is a little gap where the page was torn out that air can get in.
Right. I'm looking at it. As she comes back, I see this happened a while ago. You see that edge?
That doesn't excuse something happening to this book.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not saying it's just that it's just we're not looking for a recent vandal. Is what I'm saying.
Right, and
So whoever did it, probably not. You know, probably not. Probably not someone who was born in the past 10 years. Well, or 20 years, whatever.
well, I don't know how long it's been, but
Another thing I do
yeah,
want to notice.
yeah, and she flips back from page to page a bit, and this was the page you needed too.
Yeah, interesting. That's very interesting.
It's going here into Ezekiel Lansdowne, quick mention of him, and nothing. That upsets me.
One other thing, Dave, I want to take careful note of this.
Mm-hmm.
Was the page just torn out, or was it creased first and then torn out? You know,
It was just torn. It was just torn out. The edge is rough.
Okay, that means whoever was tearing it out just wanted to get rid of it rather than wanting to keep the page and take it somewhere.
Yep.
So whatever information was on it, they weren't looking to take it and keep it to themselves. They just wanted no one to get it. Is this the only copy of the book, though? Is the thing?
Yes, these are historic documents of Bryant Falls. That's why we don't let just anybody handle them.
Right. That's.
This is upsetting. I'm sorry about this.
No, I understand. The house did stand empty for quite a while. The owner just sort of hung on to it, and then, well, then he got rid of it, when he died.
Mm-hmm. Well, more like it got rid of him then.
Well, something.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the page again, and sort of.
Or the lack of page.
Yeah. Well, I pull out my notebook and I just jot down a few relevant facts because
There's not much. There's not much you don't know about the shack you didn't know before.
Right, except that someone went to. You think?
Lengths.
Yeah, someone went to considerable effort getting at records that people aren't allowed to check out. Someone went to some effort some time ago to conceal information about it. So that is something I didn't know before. Now I know we can tell that it happened some time ago. The question is,
You can't really tell how long ago.
yeah, it should be right. It should be possible to get a better idea of how long ago, but that would require science, which I don't have. Well, it is
McNamara has that.
interesting. Thanks a lot.
No, you're welcome.
Thanks for your help. It does tell me there's kind of a mystery about the place.
That is interesting. Well, has anything happened there, or have you found any signs, any physical signs around the house of its history?
Well, not really. I mean, it was mothballed for quite a while, and then it was refurbished and modernized shortly before it passed into my hands. It's, you know what? I actually don't. So in character, I can't think of any reason why I wouldn't just go ahead and tell her the story about how it passed into my possession and the weird part.
Yeah, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I brace myself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I tell her a little bit about Janet.
You recount the story.
A long illness, and while she was in her illness, she inherited the shack. But by the time the house was stuck in probate for a little while, during which time she passed on, and since, as her husband, the courts ruled that it was mine.
Grim relic to be handed down.
Yes, I know. It seems like a pleasant place. It seems like a pretty pleasant town. And
Oh, the town is wonderful. It'll grow on you.
I don't know. I
Uh,
kind of needed a change. I had to get away from our house. I sold it. I came out here. I just sort of was looking for work here. Discovered that the town crier was hiring, so
Mm-hmm.
I moved on out. But it's a bit of a puzzle, really.
I know.
But anyway, but now it turns out that there's something about the history of this house that someone didn't want known.
I know.
So yeah,
she knows.
makes me all the. Well, she knows now. It was obvious to her.
She's in on it. You should interrogate her.
No, we don't know
Don't
how
be-
long ago this was.
Don't be obtuse.
Right,
She says
Yes.
she knows.
right. So anyway, I'm just going to. Well, thanks a lot for your help. I don't know if there's any way to reconstruct this, but you know what? We could look into the history of the Lansdowne family some more. Ezekiel Lansdowne, I'd love to know more about him. Then see what's going on. But anyway, I think I think about what actually probably.
See, Ezekiel Lansdowne, yeah, fellow mentioned here. Okay, excuse me then. Are you done with this one?
Well, I guess sure.
Okay, and she's going to take the one damaged book back and put it back in place.
Right.
And then while she is back there, you hear, uncharacteristic to a library, someone shouting, "Oh, this is really just too much."
I get up and I go over.
Shh, people.
Now
I see.
there aren't a whole lot of people in the library right now.
Right. I go over. I say, is there more?
Actually, no, and that's the problem. She brings out a book of genealogy records, births of family histories,
Uh-huh.
and there is a page taken out of the Lansdowne section as well.
Torn out the same way.
Pretty much, yeah. Now it's thinner paper, so the oxidization around at the top and bottom aren't as obvious, but you get the feeling that may be similar.
I'm like, oh. I probably wasn't even born when this happened from the
I
look of it.
know.
But at the same time, in a weird way, I kind of feel responsible.
Oh, it wasn't your fault.
I know.
Someone did this a long time ago.
But yes.
Now,
Yeah.
you might have, I don't know, you might have to,
I'm kind of inclined to take it personally.
I wouldn't blame you.
But anyway, listen, if there's anything I can do to help, please do let me know.
Okay, I feel there's got to be someone somewhere in town that would be able to help you in this case.
But is the stuff that was taken out specifically relevant to Ezekiel Lansdowne, does it look like? I mean, looking at what's on...
Well, Ezekiel Lansdowne and a generation or two of family following.
Right. So...
Like someone was just kind of obliterating him from the town history.
But whatever was obliterated was before Ezekiel. So stuff about the family from before Ezekiel is probably still... Oh,
Some of that might still be found.
Right.
By the way, there are other players.
Something happened that somebody wants to. Yes, there are other players. So anyway, that's sorry. Yeah, that's as far as I get there. Well, I'll take notes. Anything she wants to tell me about other things that we could look into that might let us uncover some of the stuff, I'll jot it down. But I'll basically spend the afternoon coordinating with her on trying to fill as many of the gaps as possible, and that's
Right.
that's my actions for the afternoon.
Only that until the library closes at 6.
Right. And then I'll go get some food.
Okay. Meanwhile, Andreas, James,
Yes.
what are you guys doing again?
Yeah. James, or rather, Casey is going to look for the ownerships around Tempest Road, and I'm going to wait outside.
You told me you were busy.
Yeah. I'm not going to wait outside. I'm going to drink something because I'm thirsty, and wait for what comes up. Yeah. Okay, Casey, go ahead.
It's
City
really
Hall.
around. Yes. Yes, I will show up there and see what I can find about the current ownership, and if perhaps historically as well. It seems like there's an opportunity for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because why not?
Why not, indeed?
I swear if I find pages torn out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, the records in the town hall are much more detailed. Go back to the town's founding in the 1870s.
All right. Sounds good.
And what you find there is not books with pages torn out. You find entire books torn out.
Just the covers and no pages inside?
Actually, not even the covers.
So they're just not
Someone tore the entire book out of the book, leaving nothing.
just empty space on the shelf.
Yes.
Well, that would be for. Do you mean just historical ones, or like what is the current record like as of 2000 or 2005 or whatever?
Okay, the current record shows that the Lansdowne shack had been in some receiver. Not sure if receivership would be the right term.
It's that, but then I guess also nearby properties was the main focus.
Actually, I think the proper term for it would be probate court, as it was waiting. It was in someone's will to be
Dispersed.
Dispersed, yeah. And an attempt was made to contact, looks like 3 different people to hand off this property.
Okay.
One of them has the Lansdowne last name, but he wasn't available. A woman was next, who doesn't have the Lansdowne name, and then
a man by the name of Martin Spencer.
His wife before that.
Oh.
What was her maiden name?
Harding. Janet Harding Spencer.
Yeah, Janet Harding.
Yeah.
Not Janet Harding Spencer.
Yeah, the will actually named Janet Harding, which suggests it was written before she was married. But she was only married for a couple of years before she died.
It's gone.
Like 3 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So Lansdowne, non-Lansdowne, Ms. Harding, and then Mr.
Martin
Spencer himself.
Yep.
Okay. What is the general time frame of those? Like how long has this been trying to be passed to somebody? Is it like for 20 years or?
Only about 5.
Well,
So does that mean the previous owner died shortly, a little bit more than 5 years ago, or? or
Well, there was
Is
a
that what
previous
that's-
owner that died about 5 years ago, and it was attempted to be passed on to a few different people.
okay.
The Lansdowne, the non-Lansdowne, the Harding, and the Spencer.
So does it say who that previous owner was?
The records just say refer to previous editions, and the previous
Which don't
editions,
exist.
right?
Okay. That's weird. And so even though Roy asked me to look up the history of the other ones, and I haven't seen anything interesting on those yet, I'm actually kind of curious now, and I want to start looking at like property tax records to see maybe who owned it. That I don't know if that's something that would be at City Hall or if that would be a county thing, maybe.
That would be at City Hall, and the property taxes on that were written off due to inability to collect.
So like there's a
That raises a whole other set of questions, but I'm not going to ask them because I had enough of the limelight for now.
So I don't think that there would be like any records of communications of at sent letter to so and so on April 1st.
Yeah. The information in those books doesn't get into the specifics of the attempts to pass along the property, only when it was only when the attempt to pass off the property was given up on and someone else was attempted.
When will they
Apparently,
learn?
there's been a kind of trail of death leading up to Martin Spencer. Not that that's a cause for concern or anything.
Right.
Oh, are you saying that the previous people that they tried to get a hold of were actually dead?
Well, there were some that did not respond, and some that, the Lansdowne was actually dead. The non-Lansdowne, the woman, was in fact
I'm trying to figure out what
simply
to write down.
Simply not responding, and stuff I'm going to have to write down too, because I had in mind to do a specific investigation today, and damn it, you're not working on that one.
Blame Andreas.
No, I'm crediting all of you with the assist.
Cool. That's a +1 for me. There might be people I could talk to. Just thinking out loud for future investigation, there might be people who were, the city clerk or county clerk that I can talk to later, to like who had been this, 10 years ago.
That's not really related to the more immediate puzzle in front of us, but
right. So I'm just thinking that's something I want to do later, but right now where I am, if I've reached sort of the end of what I can find for records for that property, I will then continue to find out the adjacent properties along that road that Roy wanted to know about. Now, whether or not he actually wanted to know about those, I don't know.
There are no other properties on that road. There is only the one. There is only the one shack, and the rest of the land around it that the county has marked for future development if needed.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't.
Oh, it's county land.
Well, that was easy.
man, I've had another thought, but again, I'm not there.
You have our phone numbers. You can spam us with a stream of consciousness texts. We'll say, "Dang it, Martin."
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, he knows me. When I go stream of consciousness, I can be very hard to stop.
All right.
Even I have trouble stopping once I get going. And you were the one who was Andreas. You were the one who was gonna look into the medallion. So
I have one more thing I want to check. Do they have any old phone books?
They do, in fact, going back to the 1970s.
All right. So I'll start in some of the more recent ones. Because this is a fairly small town, it will not take that long to brute force the phone book. So what I can do is skim those, see, first of all, are there any, missing pages? If there are not, there could presumably be a name, address on this road, phone number. Because, yes, I'm old enough to actually have used a phone book.
Brute forcing, looking for addresses?
Hey, if there's only 3,000 people, I could get through a phone book in like a couple hours. I mean, I'd have to do is look for the name of Tempest Road and just go down the page.
3,000? That's not so much in a phone book. Probably quicker than a couple of hours.
Yeah, I didn't run the math, but
so that's going to occupy you for a little while, and I probably ought to require you to spend a research point on that, good or bad.
I will do that because that's totally worth it. Because if there's somebody who's hiding a mystery and they went to the trouble of getting rid of, property ownership, property taxes, and going through the phone books, I'm impressed.
And I'll have that result for you a little later.
Cool.
Meanwhile, Andreas, who shoveled his work off onto other people and then went drinking.
Yeah.
Jerk. That's okay. You owe me a favor. It's cool.
Good luck collecting.
While I'm drinking, I think about this Blake character, and having tanked some alcohol, I just decide to go over there and meet the guy in person, because why not? And so
because he doesn't seem to be home right now. That's why not. Because we don't have Matt in the game. Yeah.
As I'm going to find out as I knock on his door.
Mm-hmm. And Matt, if you're watching now, this would be a great time to come in. Something tells me he's not watching right now, or nope, not watching right now. 0 viewers.
But taking a look at the house, and since I'm here and I'm that type of guy, I'm just going to take a look around to see what's
there around his place.
If there's anything scribbled on the doors or stuff.
Or if the house is at the center of a pentagram drawn between various landmarks.
Yeah.
Something like that. No, maybe if there is a pentagram of roses planted in the garden or shit.
That's a funny shape to make with fertilizer.
The problem is
that reminds me of a story, but I'm not going to go there now.
So, do you have any idea how his place looks like, or should we keep the results for later?
I think we need to keep those results for later. I'm going to let Matt be the final arbiter of what his domain looks like.
Okay. So after I look at these things, noting what I note, I decide that since that guy seems to not be at home, research this symbol by checking publicly available occult
Text.
things, so pictures, and try to find other pictures that look a bit like it. So we already tried to just load it up in Google picture search. That didn't work. So now
Right.
I'm going to go the other way around. I look for other symbols that seem to be somehow connected with this, to find something that might be connected as a lead. So, and that's what I'm doing, researching. And maybe I stumble upon something else, but that's what I'm focusing on.
Okay. You do find, I will give you as part of your research, and I will make you spend a point of it.
Mm-hmm.
So marking you down to 1 point of research remaining.
Okay.
That you do find a picture of a glyph or something very similar to it in a scanned page from a book. The book only has 4 pages and seems to be... Well, the book is longer, but it only has 4 pages on the... Pardon?
The rest have been torn out.
No, in fact, the seller's page lists book in unfortunately good condition. That's the wording he used.
Unfortunately good.
Unfortunately good condition.
Okay. Odd.
The glyph is listed as something to mark the homes of the worthy for future sacrifice. And there's no more information you can get on that because the page already indicates that the sale of that manuscript is closed because someone has already bought it.
Who?
That page was torn out.
That's probably not public information.
Probably not. Who sold it?
There was a man in... would have been Wyoming, I think. That was that had gotten a bunch of these weird-ass books, and this one was among them, listed as a vanity plate.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, someone has joined us.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
The good news is you're probably going to be able to talk to Matt after all.
Mm-hmm.
When he unmutes himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he is just here to watch. I'm not... Oh, there he goes.
Jonathan
Hello,
Jones,
Matt.
Aloha.
Hello.
Hello.
So, yes, I can be called upon if or
Yeah.
when needed.
You're needed right now because there's something to retcon.
No
A
pressure.
while ago, I was at your door and knocked, and you weren't at home. So I just looked around your house and garden to see if I would notice anything out of the ordinary or remarkable. So would be
Would fun to pit
interesting
trap.
to have a bit of a description of your home from the outside and your garden.
Okay, from far away, it is this really pretty, if small, white house with a well-kept garden. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
As you get closer,
Yeah.
you notice things like bone wind chimes. And in one part of the garden, poisonous plants.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll be getting up to get coffee. I'll still be listening.
Okay.
Deadly nightshade.
Depending on... Oh, God, yeah.
Like murder plants versus like practical joke poison ivy plants.
I'm thinking belladonna.
Murder plants, okay.
Yeah. And a sign near the garden. In order to conserve ammo, no warning shots will be fired.
Wow.
Now, do you get very, very close to the house after that?
Yes, because you're not here. I already knocked and you didn't react, so I'm going around the garden. I'm
Oh
looking.
God, you're gonna die.
Okay.
Oh God.
Leaving those.
And I'm a bit drunk, you know.
There.
Very, very hard to notice, but on each pane of glass, there is a small etched pentagram.
I was looking for pentagrams. That's good.
Actually
So I will notice that.
Okay.
Well, congratulations, you found them.
You found the
I
pentagram.
don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah. There's a taxidermied cat in one of the windows.
Wow. You better get out of there.
And it's that effect where you always feel like its eyes are watching you.
Okay.
And you realize those are cameras.
Oh.
So it's a watch cat.
It is literally a watch cat.
Look at that.
And it's
So
looking
you will
back.
get a close up of me looking like.
Wait, are those cameras? Yeah. He gets a lot of that.
That many people walk close.
You know what I
past
you
the
know what I
scenes.
don't think he doesn't get a lot of? Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, probably.
Repeat visitors.
Repeat visitors, Jehovah's Witnesses, not so much.
After we go off the air, there's another story that's reminding me of. I've got to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The welcome mat is the witch is out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a sign, witch parking only. All others will be towed.
TOAD.
TOAD, yes.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So I'm now sure that this is the right person to go to. It might be the too right person. Maybe this is the person who is responsible for that drawing.
Dun, dun, dun.
But now this person has me on camera anyway.
Yep.
So what the hell? So I'm going, after I was researching, I'm going back to that house and once again go knocking at the door.
Because the previous attempt to escape was not enough.
This time, I guess, maybe he's back because that was a bit of time that I was looking around.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm back, there is...
Actually, you know what would fit? If you were conducting this search using your phone on his front step.
You're just sitting there the whole time.
Yeah, that's right. That would be
Bumming off his Wi-Fi.
That would be kind of Roy-like.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, that's happening. I'm sitting on the front porch.
So you're like sitting at my house waiting for me to come home.
Yes, yes. With a bottle beside me that's half empty.
Staring at his phone. Very non-threatening.
A truck pulls up. There's a gun rack. It's got an assault rifle and a shotgun. And a bumper sticker that says, "There's no government like no government."
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I can see why he's my sister-in-law's ex.
Yep.
Okay. So you see someone sitting on your front porch, looking on his phone, rather intent, and pressing, like totally focused on the phone. And yeah, he looks a bit untidy, like what he wears is not ironed, and his hair is a bit roughed up, so he's just a bit looks a bit out of society.
I'm still listening.
Society.
Okay. I get out of my truck. He's kind of a he's got a faux hawk that's growing out, and right now he's in a denim suit. So, denim jacket, denim jeans, denim shirt. He is currently holding a pump action 12 gauge and says, "You don't look like you're from around here."
I look up and say, "Oh, hi. Actually, I am from around here. Just 5 blocks down there and then to the right. You are this Blake character, right?"
Character.
Did you notice the no trespassing signs?
I noticed some interesting signs, but when that cat got me on camera, I thought, why not just stay here and wait and explain things?
Okay. You have 1 minute. Make it good. And he sits on his bumper.
Okay.
And looks at you expectantly.
Okay. I was looking for someone who knows about the occult side of things. And I found you because your name was mentioned favorably in some obscure forum that concerns itself with these things. But I didn't want to talk in a forum because I thought it would be better to speak eye to eye with someone. I have this here. It's a drawing that someone found on a door, and it might be very interesting, and I think you might be the person here in this town who knows what that means.
Found that on a door, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Any other special context you want me to know about the door? Was this, right after a wedding, right after a childbirth?
Right before someone died.
obvious murder?
No.
I'll take a look at it.
Depends upon your definition
Now-
of murder.
Now,
He puts
this is
the-
where...
Hmm?
Matt, are you familiar with the system?
A little bit, so I will
Okay.
turn on the
In the
safety
case
my gun.
of... Okay, in the case of the wait. Okay, I did not... I apparently... I thought I knew which way this investigation was going. Apparently, I was wrong.
Hmm.
So you put the safety on your gun and doing what now?
I walk up to him to get a better look at the paper, and I will spend my investigation to try and identify.
Okay, so you're going to spend 1 point in occult studies.
Indeed.
Okay, let's mark that off. And into the document which contains the, that thing. I am going to go ahead and paste this and make it the right size.
And please link me the share docs.
Yeah.
Okay, if someone could do that again, please.
Mm-hmm.
Alternatively,
Right.
Will. So here it comes.
Hey, David.
yes.
For columns C and D in the character matrix, did you want one of those to show the points that we have left to spend?
I was setting those to the points remaining. Yeah.
Okay, because
Let's see, did I make something not clear there?
you have them all pointing to both the maximum column. So one is the max and one is the sum.
One is the max and one is the highest and one is the sum of everybody's.
Okay, and those are both pointed at the full columns versus the
Those are
current
pointed at the
value.
full columns, yes.
Okay, so those will never change. Oh, unless
Those
there's,
should never, well,
Okay.
unless you get more points in your pools.
during a session they should not be changing.
Right.
Okay.
If they do, I would like to know about it. So I pasted a thing into the, whoops.
And may I have the character matrix as well?
Ah, the character matrix, yes. Coming up. Here's the character matrix. So,
You know what? It'd be just easier if I did it this way. There we go. Okay. The smears, or the glyph is some form of representative marking. Literally marking the house and figuratively marking the occupant for something.
huh. Okay.
And it was in the process of doing your search online for what it would be because you couldn't find John Blake at home that you found the reference to the manuscript
Exactly. Then
being
when we
sold
are
by Wyoming Happy and 2 oddities in text, whoever those may be.
I'm going to share that information with
Hold on. I haven't given you that information yet.
Okay.
Which what?
So-
who and the what now?
I haven't given that information yet.
Oh,
Okay.
So I look at the piece of paper, scratch my chin. Yeah, I can give you a little bit of information about it. What else can you tell me about the context, and what have you got for me?
I can give you that this marking was probably done in blood. That the person who lived in that house, actually both people who live in that house are now dead, but one of them it's a while back that or might be not in this context that it died, but the other person was shot entering a house, not yours. And what can I give you? I can give you a contact with people who who maybe know more about these things, which should be interesting you.
Okay, tell you what. Toss in a Ben Franklin, and you got yourself a deal.
Huh. Let me Google that.
What do you mean by Ben Franklin?
I know that it's on some kind of money amount.
It's on a $100 bill.
No, 100.
I believe it's on the 100.
Yes, it is the 100.
Because they're otherwise known as Benjamins.
Mm-hmm. You know, we have
In
bridges and
that
stuff.
movie, it's all about the Benjamins.
Yep. Throw in a couple of Franklins. 3 Benjamins, 1 Aretha. Aretha?
Okay.
Players withholding information from each other in a gumshoe game. Ladies and gentlemen, my players.
Hey, we just got started. We're not like all pals yet.
You know,
he can always haggle.
I'm going on. Yeah. Let's say I have a Benjamin, and I'm going to write your name on it. And if what you give me is worth it, then you get it.
Fair enough. How familiar are you with poppets and voodoo?
What was that first word?
Poppets.
In voodoo.
Puppets.
I need to get up for another moment. Be right back.
So that means you show me a puppet and...
No, he's asking. He's like, how familiar are you with poppets?
How familiar? What I've seen on TV.
Nah, mostly bullshit. Okay. So, poppet is a doll to focus energy. So, your poppet is your, quote, voodoo doll. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Contrary to what you see in movies, they're usually used for blessings. All right?
Mm-hmm.
This is basically a poppet. This is directing magical energy somewhere. Okay, but your puppet was drawn in blood.
In blood, yes.
Yeah. So this is me now spitballing, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go with the idea that if you were near that poppet with the blood, that wasn't meant for a blessing. I mean, some people still use blood for blessings when you've got a birth, but that's some seriously old mojo, and frankly, most people don't do it that way. So I think I've earned that, Franklin, and just as a way to sweeten this deal, he hands over a small leather pouch.
Okay.
It's filled with salt. Should you find yourself dreaming about that poppet, should you find that poppet under your bed, well, should you find that poppet under your bed, you're going to want to go far away. But should you find yourself having some nasty dreams, you surround your bed with this here ring of salt.
My science sense is crying no, but
This is so much woo.
but hell, that guy was shot. So
My science sense is tingling. No, wait, that other thing. Completely bored to tears, that's what. Yeah.
Well, you don't need any poison bullshit detector.
oh yeah, right. My bullshit detector doesn't tell me anything, right? It does tell me that this is probably, this guy thinks this is true, all of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? I take the salt and
Just to be polite.
with a bleeding heart, I hand over that Benjamin.
Nice doing business with you.
And also, I told you I'd give you something interesting.
Yep,
And
I pull
so-
out my phone to take notes.
So I tell you about this book that has been traded from this W.Y. Happy to this Oddities in Text. And it had something just like it on one of the pages, and it said this thing would mark someone for future sacrifice. I could imagine that you would want to have a book like that. So I give you this information and I show him the screenshot I made with the relevant info. Give me your email and I'll send it to you, then you don't have to take notes. And I'll send you the link as well, okay? So then might be a book you would want to have. Is in text is going to part with it. Who knows? It said it is unfortunately in good condition. The book, which sounds like a book that one would want to have.
Yeah, I can take a look into that.
Okay, so yeah,
I
and
actually zip a PM to my favorite bookseller and see if he's got a copy of the book, and that there's a 50 in it for him if he's got it.
So,
by the way, the full title of the book is On the Transubstantiation of Civilization and Necessary Changes in the Social Order.
Boring.
Now, what culture wrote this? Are we talking ancient Romans? Are we talking, that sounds almost like
The 19th century vibe to it.
yeah.
yes.
The books, okay, the information that W.Y. Happy provided on the seller's page was that it was a vanity plate printing, short run, custom ordered by the author, most likely, from sometime in 1982.
That's not so far back.
Not so far back at all.
Mhm.
And the author might still be alive.
Mhm.
The author
Died in
apparently
1979.
did not see fit to put his name on his book.
Mm.
That's really suspicious.
Actually, that's kind of. I think it's kind of a. It speaks for its authenticity.
Hmm. Yeah.
So he doesn't think he's worthy enough of putting his name on it because it's information that he collected and
Well,
not.
if he puts his name on something, it's a link to it. Somebody who with
There's
nefarious ends in mind could use it.
Well,
Yeah.
also bear in mind here, we're talking about a book titled "On the Transubstantiation of Civilization and Necessary Changes in the Social Order," in which there is shown at least one marking for a sacrifice.
Yeah, that's right.
there's a couple good reasons why someone might not want their
Right.
name on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I also give Blake my phone number. So, if you hear about this death, it's in the neighborhood, you know,
Mhm.
and you're interested in learning more. By the way, speaking of more, would you know if someone with that marking, if they had a medallion in their house, an old medallion, could that be connected or not?
Got a drawing of the medallion?
Another drawing, of the medallion. I don't, but maybe I could get one.
Get me a photograph of the medallion. I could let you know if it was a protective amulet or another part of the poppet.
Okay, I'm going to do that. So, thanks for your help, man.
No problem. Oh, and next time, call ahead. Mind the bear traps.
Bear traps. Oh, okay. I will. Okay. So I'm
Mhm.
leaving, and I'm going to meet up with the rest of the gang. So with Casey and Martin to exchange what we now know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mind if I come with?
Not at all. Come with me. I'll be happy to show you to the people.
Excellent.
As far as I can tell, there's no connection between the mystery I stumbled across and this one, so I probably won't bring it up there. It's not like I know that anyone else here is looking into it.
Dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. So, and that's when Casey will probably connect the dots.
Right.
Possibly.
Okay. So, guys, this is Mr. Blake.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and I tell you about this stuff with the doll, the quasi voodoo doll, and
I pull
that.
out the photo of the symbol.
Mhm. Yep.
Mhm.
That looks like it was drawn in blood or something.
Yep. Or maybe Kara's color.
Mhm. And we might need a photo of that medallion too, to see if we can connect that
Right.
with.
Well, it was badly worn, but for what it's worth, here's that.
What are you showing us? That's badly worn.
Yeah, the medallion. The pictures I took of the medallion.
Oh. Let's see.
But apparently it was a couple of centuries old and had been handled a lot, so it's badly worn, but whatever.
Yeah, the medallion looks a few hundred years old. Chain looks new.
Yeah.
I don't have any occult studies points left, so I'm guessing I'll have to look into that later.
No, you can even get something without the point spending. You can just that you have the points, had the points, makes you an expert already. So
I think you just don't get extra special clues.
Yeah, but in this case, there is nothing more to be really learned from the medallion. It is very old. The symbols are pretty much worn off of it. It's pretty hard to get any more information from it at this moment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is a bronze and turquoise medallion.
Oh.
Is there anything special about the combination magically of bronze and turquoise? If I can't do it by the symbols, I know materials have meaning too.
I think there's some cultures who use those.
Native American.
I want to say like Central American. Yeah.
Native American, Central American. Yeah. I don't know if turquoise had a lot of occult significance in the old world.
Yeah, probably.
I don't even think they had turquoise in the old world.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Pardon me while I Google.
Yeah, that would make this amulet a product of Native American cultures of some sort.
It came out of Iran too.
Oh, okay.
It was used by Egyptians.
Yeah, but the style would be different from Iran and Native American cultures.
Well,
it does look more American tribalist that way.
It was first brought to Europe from Turkey, so there is old world turquoise too, but
okay, probably in short supply.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
can't tell you about the symbols; they're too worn. I might be able to get it to somebody after my playthrough at an appropriate moment. And I can tell you that turquoise is generally used for protection.
Mm-hmm. Says there in many cultures of the old and new world.
So who would go about in this town and mark people worthy of future sacrifice?
It says here, in the ancient Persian Empire, they were worn around the neck or wrist as protection against unnatural death.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to add to this because I don't want to hog the line. That's interesting.
So it was probably in the house before, probably in the possession of the grandma.
Who had it for several hundred years.
How old was this grandma?
She died in her 80s.
Oh.
Okay.
Or so the official record says.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then he came home, tried to
make a go of it, and things went bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you having this meeting?
At our spot in the quiet corner of the oaken barrel.
Okay, that's your new spawn point then.
Does that mean if we die, we come back? We show up there with no gear? Oh.
Die, we come back. Oh, darn, I lost my ammunition.
All that extra experience I'd picked up. It's not really a spawn point then, is it, if we don't spawn there?
No.
Just home base.
Yeah, our home base, yes. Like our bat cave. Only with alcohol.
And
The
windows.
booze cave.
Yeah.
In other people listening.
No. We have the quiet corner. We take care that no people listen on us. We sit
Well, the
with
whole
back
restaurant
to
is
the
kind
wall.
of quiet. Because when you've tied on 5 or 6 of those drinks, you don't want a lot of noise.
Right.
Oh,
Well, let's order an early curfew. They call it that because after 6, it's lights out.
No.
Well, if it seems like people could overhear us, I'll turn on my Walkman and be playing I See a Bad Moon Rising while we talk quietly.
Okay.
Right.
on an endless loop.
Don't go out tonight, 'cause it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise.
Right.
Yeah. And I also tell you, Matt, about the stuff in the fridge that in the kitchen of that guy. Despite him living there for 2 weeks in that house, there was old and moldy stuff. Half of it still in the fridge, half of it in the waste bin.
He had just recently gotten out of prison
Yeah.
or rehab or something. So maybe he took a little while to get around to clearing out the fridge.
But halfway during cleaning up,
He's halfway through that, and then
he walked out, came into another house, and was shot.
ran out, from what I hear. Well, ran to the other house.
Yeah, that does make it kind of peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
He inhaled any mold.
You guys into the cops with all this? Have any information on who had motive means opportunity?
Well, they know who the shooter was.
Yeah.
But
Basically,
that was
he apparently ran from the back door of his house to the back of the house behind his, the owner of whom
Was
had
hungry for brains.
the owner of whom basically everyone in town thinks the guy is a druggie.
Okay.
Saw him running toward the house and picked up his pistol that he has.
Picked up the pistol right near him and shot.
And shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he's just the means, not the
Right.
brains. But
Speaking of,
that's Dave's ringtone for when he's phone for somebody or other who.
For when my parents call. Guess why?
they really like zombie movies. Be charitable.
No, they call suddenly, without warning, often with no consideration for what you're doing at the time, and you feel dumber for having gone through it.
Better hope they don't watch this video, or they're going to be hurt.
okay.
Internet disconnect. Hey, there we are.
So where are we now in this case? We have the dead guy. We don't know who may have painted it, except if you know anyone who could do that here in the area, because you are an expert. And if there is someone else who knows things about this,
And something spooked him.
you might know this person.
Well, I'm new in town.
No. I mean, Mr. Blake. What's the first name? Wait a
Jonathan.
second. Jonathan Blake. I think Jonathan Blake might know the person who drew that sign.
He might not.
He
Yeah,
might
I was
not.
just about to ask David, does this sound like anybody's MO that I'm familiar with?
Nobody that you're familiar with.
Nope,
Because
I'd be
if it was-
suspicious of
But he
outsiders and people new to town.
might also be able to look at the symbol and be able to tell which occult tradition it's drawn from.
Could it be from someone who came from Wisconsin? Not from Vermont now, just now, a couple of days ago. That's just a joke.
And that's the thing, Dave. I think anyone who knows anything about occult symbology ought to be able to recognize, at least like I was just saying, what magical tradition that symbol comes from. Whether it's from like something Western or Zoroastrian or Egyptian or whatever.
Doesn't seem to be from any proper magical tradition.
Right. Or it's just
It's real.
some new age bullshit that some guy strung together.
Yep, in 1982.
Right.
Yeah, this was.
I'll be right back. Keep talking.
I'm going to go with eclectic neo-paganism.
Cut and paste symbology.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Do you think it actually did anything?
Listen, I'll be honest. Most of the time, when you've got something occult, it's designed for one purpose: to get into somebody's head. Make them paranoid, make them jumpy, make them worried, make them nervous. Yeah, you can curse somebody to have a heart attack. And if you plan it the right way, they're gonna have a fucking heart attack. Was it a bad spirit ripping into their chest? Possibly, but probably not.
Well, it sounded like he was definitely spooked by something, so...
See about gaslight.
What I would want to know is if this guy, if this person's going the gaslight method, right? There's going to be a lot more than one symbol. There's going to be, maybe a dead chicken the day before, or a mangled squirrel a few days before that, or some other symbols. I would keep my eye out, see if I can trace a pattern.
Right.
I wonder if he got any phone calls recently.
If you guys
He
have
didn't
access
have an
to that,
answering
that
machine.
would be a fantastic thing to check.
Okay. Well, Dave, with 2
Something
points,
pretty good with
you might be able to hack the phone records.
Wait, did we? There was an answering machine, right?
There was a pad of paper by the by the phone.
Yeah, but no answering machine. Okay. Okay.
Speaking of,
Well, Dave, how many points would I have to spend to hack the guy's phone records?
It might be easier to steal his if he has a cell phone to steal that than just look at the call history.
If there such a phone exists, it'll probably be in the evidence locker in the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
I don't think
Probably.
I want to try and get that.
Well, I don't
Might
know.
be bad, yeah.
But they have a carrier, and the carrier has the information online, so you could hack into
Yeah.
his account at the carrier.
2 points of investigative skill enough to do that.
2 points of you want to spend 2 points of computer to try to mess with or to try to inspect George Duncan's phone records.
Yeah, I mean, would I be able to do that with 2 points, or more sort of like not?
Well, I would be inclined to say no, because you're not necessarily supposed to be a master hacker with that stuff.
Right.
However, on a 0 point spend, I will point out that you do have a probably very reliable source of information for George Duncan's phone records. And that'd be George Duncan's phone records on the desk of his house.
Oh,
Right. Can I get to it again, or?
Well,
Wait,
you
you
might
took a
have.
photograph of it.
I took a
He
photo.
took a photograph of the. Yeah, let's see. He took 2 of the medallion, 1 of the glyph on the door. I'm not sure he took any of the roll top desk.
Yes, he did. He
I
he
glanced
photographed the whole desk with everything before I took the pad.
I
So
looked.
he has the pad on it, on his photograph and everything. And then I took the notepad.
You did
Okay.
say I did look briefly over his financial records.
Yeah, and you took
did?
a photograph.
You know what?
I know because
If you
I took the paper afterwards. That was what made it a bit risky.
Right. So here's the deal. I'll let you spend a point of photography. To get the particulars, you need to get into George Duncan's phone account to see what calls he's been receiving or sending.
I'll do that.
Okay.
That
Point of photography will give you the information on.
He might have had the password to his phone account.
Might have written it on his first bill when he started going about setting up his accounts and such.
You know, most people keep their passwords within 3 feet of their computers.
But let's hear what you get from that photography spending.
You know, right.
Well, he's only had the phone about a week. There were a few calls to the family lawyer, near as you can tell. One name does pop out 2 or 3 times in the record, and that is Samantha Findley.
Why does that name sound
Calls
familiar?
from her.
There were calls to him and calls from him.
Huh.
Okay, calls from her to him.
Right. Samantha Findley
Mrs.
called.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Findley, is it, or a daughter?
Pardon?
Is this Mrs. Findley, or is it a daughter?
Oh,
yes.
Samantha Findley is
It's-
Oliver and Laura Findley's daughter.
The neighbor's daughter.
Oh.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
a
Sue.
clue.
It's okay.
Oh my God.
It was a possibility at the time, which is
This is probably
see.
the her that he needed to get that phone number to quickly.
Oh.
Which has unpleasant suggestions about her home life. Or maybe it was somebody else entirely.
Okay.
Online, I mean, you know, Oh, geez.
When was the last call from her to him? Or what was the last call?
That was about 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
So that would have been 1 day before the incident.
Right.
Okay, in that case, 3 days ago.
Oh,
3 days ago. And there were no calls right before the incident.
Right.
Oh, if they were, then they wouldn't be there on that. Wait a second.
No,
Okay,
you
yeah,
would
we have the
you would
password.
okay. Yeah, you using the password to check his account, you would have every call made to this point,
Right.
Okay,
but not what was said on those calls.
of course.
and just the metadata. Is there anything else interesting or suspicious? Like, what were there any calls made after his death? Which I know sounds weird, but I mean that would jump out. Or any other repeated numbers that were called to or from more than once.
That's the only number that pops out from his records.
So that might be the she he wanted to give his number to, this number to.
Right.
It seems
The
like
number of a
Of a rape hotline.
Rape and assault hotline.
Rape and assault hotline, exactly. And maybe something led him to believe that she needed help right that moment. And that's why he ran over to the house.
But how would he know if she didn't call him?
She didn't call him, but maybe something.
Maybe he had some reason to believe she might be in serious trouble and was going to run over.
Also, don't forget that he has a direct line of sight from the kitchen where he was at the moment, because he was just putting old moldy stuff from the fridge into the waste.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
You could have seen or heard something.
And he could see through his door to the other house. He could see that she is in trouble and ran there and got shot.
Wait a second. Yeah, he could see over there. And remember, the father was telling the truth, but not the whole truth. The guy did bust in. He felt the need to shoot him, but there was more to it than that. Maybe he already had the gun in his hands. It wasn't locked up.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have. I think you're gonna need some testimony from other witnesses.
Oh,
Find
shit.
Samantha Findley for one thing.
We got to talk to the parents.
Samantha Findley, yes, the daughter.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are locals. Do any of you know how old she is?
How old is she?
Yeah,
16.
16.
Uh-oh. I don't know if that's
16.
So I know they won't let me talk to her.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, probably not that.
And how old was George again?
George was about 26 at this point.
26, 10 years older.
Yeah, you said he was in his upper 20s before.
Upper 20s, yeah.
Now, did you say out loud, well, I know they won't let me talk to her?
No, I was just looking that way. My face was saying that.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah, ever since the conversation turned to rape and assault hotline, my character's been drumming his fingers on the table, looking hella uncomfortable, and
tension.
Yeah, and when there was the expression of, well, I can't talk to her, that became a look of, huh.
Yeah. Not that anything bad could come of that.
No,
I know Matt's character pretty well, so I think I'd kind of like give his arm a comforting squeeze, kind of like, it's okay. It's okay, buddy.
No.
Okay. So definitely she needed help.
Or at least
Because-
he had reason to believe she needed help. Yeah, definitely.
He
That's
had
what it
reason to
started.
believe he needed help right that
Needed
moment,
help and needed that number.
but he definitely needed help at all because he already had that number ready, and there was a reason why he looked for that number. So she is in trouble anyway. She will
Yeah.
need help. So we need someone to talk to her.
What's the spacing of these calls?
Well, I'm really easy to talk to.
Like 3 calls in one day or 3 calls over the course of a week?
3 calls over the course of 3 days.
Okay.
Is this guy calling to report something suspicious, or is this guy calling to resist temptation? My character says as he drums his fingers even harder on the wood.
It's a help. What? It's a help
By
and
the way, let me-
support. Help and
By
support
the way, let
for
me-
her. It's a help and support number for her.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
By
he
the
wasn't.
way,
George's not that kind of guy.
let me point
Okay.
out one other thing that makes this whole thing a little weirder.
Okay.
She called him first.
Right.
That's not weird.
Well, that makes sense though. If it was an abusive situation, as a neighbor, she could have wanted to shelter in his house.
She
So-
could. She could also just. They could have talked before. They could have talked in
Yeah,
between
definitely.
over the
Right.
fence of the garden.
Yeah.
So we don't know the whole story of their talks.
I don't know if this will illuminate anything. Does it say how long the phone calls were?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Were they
interesting.
brief or were they like an hour long?
Only about 5 or 6 minutes each.
I need to mute. I'm sorry.
I don't know
Sounds
if that-
like check-ins.
Okay. Okay.
So if that's the case, it seems likely that they already had a discussion going, maybe.
Oh,
It is
say what,
possible.
it says what numbers the calls to his place were from and what numbers he called. We can find those, and we can certainly deconstruct the phone book in a small town and find the numbers. Did she call from the same number that he called? Well, I guess he called, or actually, Samantha Findler. I guess she must have had her own phone, like a cell phone or something. Otherwise it would have just said Finley.
Mm-hmm.
If it said Samantha, that means her phone,
Mm-hmm.
her
Yep.
like cell phone. But
Yeah, well, she's 16. She probably had her own phone.
Yes. So and we can't jump to conclusions like say that it's her father that's doing something to her. We don't know that,
right,
but
it
it's
might have been
possible.
her story.
We must keep
But
it in mind.
Shooting a
But
guy the
it's
minute
not a
he
given.
comes in the door, that is kind of suspicious.
Especially
Well-
if it's the neighbor, you know.
Well,
yeah, like
it's-
why
it's-
wouldn't you
it's
ask a question or two?
it's the druggie that suddenly comes into the living room. I think
Mm,
it
Was he
could
coming into the living room, or was he just running toward the house? I
no,
remember.
no, it was in the living room. He
It
was
was
shot
in the living
house.
room. He had just gotten
was-
into the doors.
Yeah,
Burst in through the back door and he shot.
Exactly. He was inside the house. So when the druggie from behind the house comes into your living room, I think it's possible that you shoot him, and you
don't
are
know.
not.
Especially
Uh,
that he's
with the very-
sleeping around his daughter.
With a very conveniently placed gun that should not have been out of its case,
exactly.
unless it was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's suspicious. But we don't know everything now. We need
No,
we
we
need
don't need
more
that. We don't know
information.
everything.
We need more information, as usual. As the posting said in the G+, we need more information. Find more
When
information.
stuck, look for more information.
Exactly. We need to talk to Samantha.
I'll
And-
talk to Samantha.
we need a woman to talk to Samantha.
Jonathan brings up an excellent set of questions. Was he shot in the front or the back?
He was shot in the front. Okay,
Which-
the front of Jonathan was shot in the back of the house.
Oh, yeah.
Shot like in the head or the chest or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a chest shot,
But
center
he
mass.
was shot by somebody he was facing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is sort of what you would expect in either situation. And if he was
Exactly.
shot in the back, that would have been like
Right, and the other
really
question,
weird.
of course, is we have the shooter's testimony that he came running in, but we don't know that that's the truth.
Also,
Well, it
we-
certainly
well, defensive
looks like.
wounds
Yes.
was the other question. So was it like he was shot in the chest and were his arms in front of his chest? Was he trying to turn away? Or was he startled and just sat there and took it?
Some of those details you may have to get from the sheriff.
Yeah, I think we need the
I think we might-
mortuary report from that.
And some of those some of those details you may need to get from someone else who was in the house at the time.
Mhm.
Maybe Oliver, maybe Laura, maybe Samantha.
maybe a stuffed cat with cameras in it.
And the other thing is, other details we could get. I think if we might be able to get some details from the deputy, probably not from the sheriff. It seems to me the sheriff has just sort of automatically assumed that that it's an unchecked case, whereas the deputy is the one who's been saying that George was living clean. We're trying
That's right.
to straighten
That's
up.
right.
The
The
deputy
deputy
likely
is the
be
man
most
to talk to.
Also, the deputy does seem to just sort of, I don't know if it's apropos. I don't know what it's apropos of, but the deputy seems to have a problem with the local newspaper. But he did at least say to me something about how the the paper needs to be straightened out, and he was hoping I could do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't yet know
That
what he
might be
means.
something to talk with him about later.
Yeah, I'll talk to him about it later, but we might have a foot in the door with him to get more details, especially since he seems to be somewhat more sympathetic to George than
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
was
hey, is anyone writing these future questions into the case file document?
Ah,
No,
no.
that would be worse. This is a game.
Yeah.
I actually did. Oh,
Let me
I
see.
guess the one.
Some of them.
Questions and pontifications. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
The one I put was about
I'm writing mine
90%
in.
certain.
Let's see. Would deputy? What's his name again?
Frechette. Frechettte.
Right.
Yes.
Sure. It's a good brand.
Right. Okay.
George. Yep, Frechettte. You know, because we'll be ending this session soon, and next week you might want reminders where you were.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's funny watching both of you typing in the thing at the same time. I
I
feel almost inspirational now.
What was the Ms. Findley?
Laura Findley is the mother's name.
Right.
But still, another question is who painted that symbol? Because it was, I'm sure it was none of the Findleys.
Right. That's
David, can I use investigative procedure to see if I can get more information about, the peculiarities of how the symbol was painted? For example, if it was rushed, if it was painted days ago, if it was painted by a right-hander or a lefty.
I was actually just about to ask a similar question. Did we see if it was painted like with a brush or with a finger? Because a finger, if you had like a fingerprint, that would be
That would be the most cut. Yeah.
They're in there long enough to dry.
You know what? If you want to swing out there and use a point of investigative procedure to get those details off of the glyph,
Yay.
I won't stop you.
Well, I mean, we had a photograph of it.
You had a photograph of it, but you can't lift a fingerprint off a photograph. Although,
Well, I mean, you could see if it's like a brush versus
around the photograph for
fingerprint.
footprints
Maybe
in the yard.
a brush would have pretty clear lines going in the direction of the flow, whereas a fingerprint would maybe be less distinct, I think.
Actually, the medallion isn't necessarily native Central American. Turquoise has been used in a number of New and Old World cultures to protect its stuff.
Mm-hmm. I would not be opposed to going out there. I just wouldn't want to go out there alone.
just in case, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Let's split up. We can work around that way.
Yeah.
Really?
Look, we can do more damage that way.
Remember, guys, whenever possible, split the party.
Yeah.
Oh, you broke up.
I was just saying, whenever possible, split the party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Well, whenever possible, Google Hangouts splits up Matt's dialogue.
Indeed.
So, anyone want to come with me? Everyone want to come with me?
I'm going to come with you
Okay.
Where are you going?
to that door again.
Oh, okay.
I think I've got the information I like from the photo. I want to see if anything's changed.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll let my dog sniff it.
Oh.
There might be more like of those symbols around the house too, if the cops aren't there watching.
That's
Can
true.
do a
They
more
are.
thorough search
Well,
at this point.
These are two cops. I bet they are not there watching.
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay, so en masse, you are heading out.
You might run into Samantha Findley, who is 16 years old, and strike up a conversation with her. Or, wait.
So
En masse, we travel over.
it's already dark. So
It is already. It has. Night has fallen.
So I
Okay.
bring Jonathan to the front side of George's house,
Mm-hmm.
and we go around it. So I show him the door.
I put
With
on my
the
night
symbol.
vision goggles and look at everybody else like, what?
Night vision goggles, really?
Oh, yeah.
So
It's-
you see Roy with raised eyebrows looking at you. Wow, night vision goggles.
Are they really night vision goggles, or are they just like green
I take my
sunglasses with
hunting
a light on them?
seriously. And actually, they can be purchased for pretty cheap nowadays.
Are you a burglar?
Intriguing. Do you have any particular URLs for sites to buy night vision goggles from? I'm asking for. Oh hell, I'm asking for myself. Yeah. Tell you what, though, I will give you a little bit of investigative point before we get into any of the extra weirdness coming up. But let's see. First, I'm going to take that point of investigative procedure from you, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
No.
Okay. Yes, this was made by a young right finger.
Oh.
You can also at least get a partial fingerprint from it.
Wow.
Holy crap.
That's what you
But you
get for
don't
someone
know.
with investigative procedure.
Yep, but you don't know whose it is yet.
Hmm.
The other detail I'd like to point out is that the back door is ajar.
Still?
What?
I thought it was a door.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Sorry. I couldn't help it.
That was good.
I
That
do that all the
goes-
time.
Now wait a minute.
So
I
There
did
is a.
tell the sheriff about the that there was blood on the door. I tell him that I'd noticed that.
Mhm.
That means if the sheriff went up. That means he wouldn't have left it ajar. He would have.
Hey, yeah, that's a day ago.
Yeah, it's a day ago, and while you might have and while the sheriff might have closed and locked the door to preserve that scene, someone with a right sneaker apparently disagreed, judging by the print just above the doorknob.
Oh.
Kick.
Kicked. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
The print just
Knocked-
it wouldn't happen
knocked
to
the-
be a right fingerprint that matches the partial print you got off of the blood symbol. I'm not there, so I can't ask those questions.
Okay.
No, the shoe print does not match the footprint. I mean, the shoe print does not match the fingerprint.
that
Now,
would be
I'm
weird.
talking about the fingerprint
That would,
above the
that
door.
would really be weird.
Oh, wait a minute. Is the shoe print on the door above the doorknob?
Yes.
The
Someone
shoe
kicked the
print
door
is
open.
on the door above the doorknob.
So someone kicked the door open.
Yes.
Someone kicked
That
the
would
door
be
open.
my interpretation of it.
What? This is. Which door is this? This is.
The door of
This is-
George's
This is George Duncan's back door. Someone apparently kicked it open.
Is
Uh,
that
Goddamn.
the symbol on the door? Is that unusually high or low on the door?
It's about chest high.
Okay, so that doesn't.
It's probably
Oh, okay.
eye level on whoever drew it. And I keep doing that. Sorry, I'm not
Or a
there.
little bit less.
no, chest high. Okay. Whatever. The door is open, so I look at Jonathan Blake,
You can go
Uh,
first.
and then I go in to see if
There could be a crazed killer in there. You go first.
what happened in there. So he has the night vision goggles, but I go inside without night vision goggles because I don't think so tactical. I'm not
Because
a
you're
tactical
curious.
thinker. I'm curious, but not a tactical thinker. So I look at him and then I go in to see if everything's all right inside.
Just remembering the cutscene from Time Splitters 3 Future Perfect, which was a shooter for the PlayStation 2 many years ago. One of the segments had a hatch open and a ladder going down into darkness. Then the companion character says, "Okay, you go first." Then the soldier takes a look at her short skirt and says, "Okay."
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, so Roy, you go in first to look at the scene.
Mhm.
Well, let's see, the trash can is still there. The refrigerator door is closed.
Mhm.
Looks like the papers on the desk have not been disturbed. But the medallion is now missing.
Shit. Since everything else is here, I guess that the sheriff took nothing, and the person who kicked down the door took the medallion. Are there any more footprints or anything visible? Wait, it's too dark to see that, so maybe I have to switch on the light.
Well, okay.
But
I
I'm not.
just posted.
I'm not
so-
that
My
silly.
character's wearing like the $300 night vision goggles. I will have handed over like the $12 kid-friendly night vision goggles to you.
Okay.
Kid-friendly.
Okay.
Is
Wait, I'm still trying to wrap my hand around the concept. Kid-friendly night vision goggles. When
Yep.
you look into the girl's shower late at night, do you see little black rectangles over the sensitive bits?
No, I don't imagine that they've gotten to that level of sophistication.
Oh well.
No. So okay. So with the
But
night vision goggles, with the $12 night vision goggles, I look for for footprints or something in the area of where the medallion was.
Well, it looks like well, they're faint, but you can see the footprints coming into the house, going right to the medallion,
Ah,
which was not visible from either the front or back window, and then exiting.
shit.
Indeed.
That's what you get for not stealing stuff. It gets stolen. Okay.
The moral of the story, kids, take everything that isn't nailed down.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't leave anything behind. Okay.
What a lesson for a Sunday.
Okay. I tell. So what about Blake? Do you get inside the house also or not?
Oh, I'm getting in here and I'm letting my dog sniff around.
Mhm.
Okay. Then I tell you, the medallion is gone. See the footprints here? They went straight to it and took it.
I swear in a couple different languages.
Okay. I'm impressed.
Swear in ancient Sumerian. Roar. Oh, damn.
Okay. Then
That's why you
out
don't
of
curse.
curiosity, I go back and look back into the fridge.
The fridge is still half full of rotten stuff. And in fact, that rotten stuff scent is starting to pervade.
I close it again. And taking a page
Yep.
out of Spencer's book, I take a handkerchief and wipe my fingerprints away. Just like he did.
You know, yeah, since you might be calling the sheriff after this, just to let him know the house has been broken into.
No, because what
No, we
would I
wouldn't.
tell him? I was just innocently walking to the back of the house of someone who was shot 2 days before.
Yes, and I know someone broke in because the medallion that I saw there the last time I broke in wasn't
Yeah.
there.
And
Yeah.
also, by the way, I'm the guy that already crossed you once. So
Yeah, the awkwardness is just backfolding there.
I will never call the sheriff ever.
The awkwardness is almost fractal.
Yeah.
So someone broke in between the first visit and the second. In other words.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially
Oh,
in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
damn.
Inside the last 24 hours, someone kicked the door open and took that thing.
Took what thing? The medallion?
The medallion. Yes.
Yep.
I
Oh,
wanted to see what
shit.
the shoe print is, because that we might be able to match that to
Yeah.
somebody.
And we discovered that the bloody sigil on the front door was drawn by a young person.
Back
That
door.
was-
It's on the back door.
On the back door.
Yeah.
The bloody sigil on
Yeah.
the back door.
On
Like
the
how
same frame
young?
of the back door that was kicked in.
Like
Yeah.
child or like adolescent?
Findley is the kind of girl who's
Adolescent.
Oh shit.
Maybe 16.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Whoever kicked open
Well,
long enough to kick
it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell from the finger size. It could be anything from 15 to 25.
Okay.
Could be a girl like the young Findley girl.
It could be somebody
Mhm.
with small hands.
Well,
We should take fingerprints from her when we talk to her, just in case. So,
Yeah.
Do that thing where we hand her a glass of water to drink and
yeah,
then take
right,
the fingerprints off
exactly,
it.
exactly that. Okay, but
yeah, I've got my high quality camera and I make sure to take some micro shots to get a good look at the prints.
Okay.
Huh. I was
And
just
I'll
going to
spend
make
a point of
a
photography
handy.
if necessary.
I was just going to make a photograph with the smartphone of that shoe print, but since you have the better equipment, maybe you should
Yeah, I'm the
do it.
professional photographer, so
Whoa, really?
Yeah, he's a wildlife photographer.
so
But I mean,
take
I
the-
probably, yeah. Hmm.
He takes pictures of the animals as well as stripping off all their fur and flesh.
Huh?
Wow.
Are we
Ah.
just about ready to wrap it up?
I
Before
think
and
so.
after?
As we are 40 minutes over now.
Okay,
So
yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
obviously the session was going well enough.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. And we have more to think about for next
Mhm.
week.
Because you've drawn some conclusions that might be, oh, for crying out loud.
I think
Now witness the power of these fully armed and operational helicopter parents. Aye.
And David,
check.
you'll see that I linked to the night vision goggles.
I already dragged it aside so I could reference it later.
Yeah, and the price variances are ridiculous.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna.
$12.
Damn it!
I'm thinking there might be maybe some more clues that we could find next week. I don't know what sorts
Well,
of
who
things,
is-
but like
Who is saying the same thing over and over?
Now, that would be
Dennis's
my phone
ringtone.
because my parents are trying to get in touch with me very, very desperately.
Oh.
They know
So
you're
I
doing-
think we need to. So I think we need to end this soon.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Okay. Sorry
Sorry,
about that.
James.
See everybody
No
next
problem.
week.
Yep.
Stop
Okay.
the
See you next week.
broadcast.